What the fuck? What did I just watch? Ladies and gentlemen, I have just come back from watching Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, and I have a lot of opinions about this movie. Now, first of all, no, I did not let the critics decide and dictate my mind. The only thing that ever decides and dictates my mind usually is when I'm on ketamine, or there is a pretty hot chick standing right next to me, or there's a really great porn ad offer that's like $1 for 30 days or something. I don't know. That usually will fucking convince me to do inexplicable things. But the critics did not convince me to dislike this movie, although the critics did say this was the second worst Marvel movie in the MCU. From remembrance, the only one worse was Eternals, and I'm going to be honest, I don't have the patience or care to watch that movie, so I'm not going to tell you if it's absolutely balls deep terrible, but what I will tell you is this was probably not the worst or second worst MCU movie. I think there were much worse. Let me just straight up say Black Widow is pretty poo. It's a bit of a poo movie. I didn't really like that. Captain Marvel, I have actually seen. I just can't really remember it. Probably telling you how poo it is. And I'm also a very big hater of Spider-Man Far From Home. The second Spider-Man movie, I thought that movie was just the definition of wasted potential. And I just don't like it. I don't like it. I'm not saying this Ant-Man and the Wasp movie is better. I'm not even too sure yet. Probably haven't had enough of my time to kind of gather my thoughts and opinions on this film. All I know is it's probably not the second worst MCU film. Although I will say it was a bit all over the place. I just felt like there was a couple of things going wrong, and you know when you go and watch that movie, and usually 99% of the times you know where it went wrong. Like for Spider-Man Far From Home, there's a lot of instances. First of all, I think Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio was pretty much misused. I thought they kind of turned Spider-Man into Iron Boy Jr. in that film. Of course, they fixed that in the third movie, which is what makes the third movie one of the reasons that makes it so awesome, in my opinion. But there's a couple of things that I named wrong with the second movie off the top of my head. With the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, right now, there are a lot of things that I know that are kind of wrong with it, but it's hard to like gather the words to kind of talk about, well, what did really go wrong. But first of all, I will talk about the positives. One of the positives was I actually liked this movie a bit more than the people I went with. The people I went with said it was complete arse and dog shit, and I think they kind of agreed with the reviews. Although I will say, I think with kind of Ant-Man himself, he's a pretty cool character. I do like him quite a bit. The Wasp isn't annoying for me. I actually really like the Wasp and her character. I didn't even know she's the wife. I don't think she's the wife. But I actually like her character. I like all the characters in this movie, and I think the actors who portrayed them did really well. An actor who really kind of stood out, I would say, is the guy who played Kang the Conqueror, who is also going to be in the third movie to Creed as well. I thought that was pretty good. I thought for the most part the acting was good for this movie, other than the daughter her reactions were a bit poo sometimes. But other than that, I didn't really think the movie went wrong there at all. I thought the CGI was relatively decent, considering the movie was 99% CGI. I felt like the CGI, the editors and stuff for this movie did really, really well. And considering a lot of them are like on major time budgets and are being very, very overworked, they did a fantastic job, and it definitely was a really awesome thing. It's just the plot of this movie felt like it just moved weird. There were a lot of like really far-fetched kind of things with this movie, and I think one thing you will see straight up when you do and go and watch this movie, and again, kind of spoilers from mainly this point on. I don't think I've really spoiled anything yet, but as you guys know, I usually do like to get into some spoiler stuff, but all that stuff. I'm not even sure if this is really spoilers, but the movie kind of seemed like a rip-off of Star Wars. Was I the only one who kind of thought that? There were a lot of things with Star Wars in this movie. First of all, the big city that Kang builds looked very familiar. It definitely did look like something you would see out of Star Wars, specifically Coruscant. It kind of looked like, not just that, Kang seemed like he had the Force, other than shooting like lasers out of his hands or whatever. He did a lot of things. I was like, damn, this dude has the Force. Don't be surprised if he just starts Force choking people and all this shit. I was really like that. And then you got the big like clone army that Kang had that he was using against everyone. Maybe it was just me. It definitely wasn't, because all the boys thought it reminded them a lot of some ripped off shitty version of Star Wars as well. Also, the way that, this is a spoiler for you right now, the way that Murdoch, is that, I think that's how you say his name, right? The way he was kind of like destroyed and dying, but then built into a new robot machine was very, very Darth Vader-esque, if you ask me. There was a lot going on there where I was like, shit, this is a shitty version of Star Wars. Other than the shitty version of Star Wars, I just thought that, again, the plot moved a little bit weird. There was always those cringy one-liners that have been very much in Marvel, especially since Phase 4. They have seemed to double, and they seem like they have gotten far worse, I think. The jokes were decent. They were a bit over the place, and all of this type of stuff. You know, just the one-liners were, I think, the thing that got a couple of us. Like, I remember when the guy, the clone trooper, whatever he was supposed to be, the blue clone trooper, we didn't want to tell him the code, and the mind raider's like, what is the code, this and that. The guy had to give him the code, and then after he read out the code, the clone trooper was like, you know, he just goes, dang it, like that. It just seems so cringe, bro. Like, I don't feel like you ever see a grown-ass man get angry at, you know, lose something and just sits there and goes, dang it, like that. You know, it just, oh man, I don't know, it seemed cringe, all that type of stuff. Specifically, yeah, the plot just kind of, it felt like it did move a little bit weird, other than some of the scenes looking like they took quite a bit of inspiration from Star Wars. There were just some weird ass kind of scenes where I was like, yeah, the plot is not exactly really moving like I thought it was. There was times where you get very bored and you were like, shit, I want to check Tinder right now. I want to check Lana Roach's Instagram feed. What is going on? There were definitely a lot of times I was like, damn, I kind of want to go on my phone, which is not a good thing. And I'm not a guy who likes to go on my phone that often. I'm not a dude that's obsessed with my phone. But it made me want to go on my phone, which is definitely not a good thing if you are Marvel. So, of course, there are a couple of things that I feel like are wrong or iffy about this movie. But they're definitely things that I think were done right. As I said, props to the CGI editors in Marvel. We know they get overworked. We've heard about the stories before. And damn, this movie was 99% CGI, and it didn't look great, but it also was like, yeah, they did pretty well, you know. There weren't really any outrageous CGI scenes, unlike some of the scenes we saw in Black Widow that looked very not $200 million budget type stuff. So, in saying all that, I thought they actually did a pretty decent job, and I don't think the movie was a 3 or 4 out of 10 like some people will suggest. I will go a bit higher, and I will say a 5 or 6. I'll probably go for this movie. Probably, we'll meet in the middle. We'll go for a 5.5, because if it's a not MCU movie, then this movie is probably a bit lower. But I think the fact that I've seen worse MCU movies, I believe, and I genuinely think that they kind of did what they did with this movie and what they were able to do and accomplish. I think they actually kind of succeeded at, was probably always the end goal with this film, so I shouldn't be judging it, I don't think, too harshly. And at the end of the day, it was supposed to set up Kang and develop Ant-Man's story and kind of get Kang more into our minds and understanding kind of how ruthless and what the behind the scenes of really is with him. And I feel like the movie kind of did establish that, while also establishing his daughter potentially as a new superhero in the MCU, which I thought kind of did well. But of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below. Did you guys like this new Ant-Man movie, or did you guys not? Of course, I would really like to know. Don't forget to subscribe to my sports channel and my IRL/long channel. All of them will be getting linked in the description down below. But as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.